So one thing we don't get back in this life is time. And that is something that I refuse to do. If I am not getting what I need out of a relationship, I'm going to start working on my exit out. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care. Even if I make you feel like we good or, you know, because you keep telling me like, oh, don't leave, don't leave. I'm in my mind, if you're not making me happy, I'm working on my exit out, because what I'm not going to do is sit around with someone and waste time being miserable when you know how happy you can be. So
you're saying that in the situation that you was in, security wasn't the most important thing now?
You caught me red-handed.
Now, okay, so when you first spoke about it, you said that security and money was the most important thing.
I did not even say that. I was just saying.
I got you, Jada.
Now,
that was just one thing that I said to go with something else that I said. But yeah, when you on your first date, it was security.
Happiness now. You think now after we explored it, you saying that now that's the most important thing.
That is.
And to me, within this show, I think how I realized stuff from 10, 12 years ago just now. Like, we used to take those type of things and say, oh, well, you're wrong about that. But sometimes you have to talk your stuff out to really understand where you're really coming from, because we don't have time to speak about, well, what makes you tick or what doesn't make you tick. So because she really thought that money was the most important thing, and once she explored it and we talked about it, it's definitely not the most important thing.
It was very therapeutic.
But doesn't that go back
us
to my
fellas
needs,
want to
though?
say you're welcome.
No, because I said in my hierarchy of needs, emotions, which happiness goes under emotions, that's my biggest thing. I need to know that we're emotionally clicking. I'm vibing with you emotionally. That's important for me, because I already know without him, I could make my own money. That's what I bring to the table. The fact that I have means of making money, and I don't need him for his money. What he brings, he adds to it, and then we build a happy future.
Now I'm realizing the security is like, I feel better if I'm happy within. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the money is not enough. Sometimes, you know.
Can you say that part again?
I took an L.
She said sometimes money is not enough.
Sometimes the money is not enough, and I understand that. But for women who are in a situation where when they're with someone who the security is their money, it's harder for them to leave that situation, because now they have to pick up and start all over, and now they have to change their lifestyle, and now they have to probably bring their children with them, and now they have to live a certain way, and they're willing to put up with being miserable or dealing with someone who doesn't give them everything they need because they're afraid.
Well, all they have to do is put themselves to work. If you know that you're trying to leave somebody and he's the person that he's paying the bills, then you need to figure out, is there a business you could open? Right. Is there some type of work that you can do? Because staying there with somebody who you really don't like or you don't care about, you're wasting away. You're wasting your entire life. Then being lazy, that's called lazy. Being lazy. Don't be lazy and be caught up with somebody that you don't like, because his life is trash and your life is now trash too. And if you have kids, their life becomes trash as well, and you don't want to do that.
You'd really be surprised what you can do once you get out of a situation. You'd be surprised how much clearer you'll think. You'll be surprised how when your back is up against the wall,
you make bad decisions.
When your back is really against the wall, though, also you start making decisions about, okay, how am I going to come out of this? That's when that grind really kicks in. And that's when you start finding things within yourself where you're like, okay, well, if I'm going to get out of this situation, let me just start working here. Or let me just start doing this. Or let me, that talent that I used to have, let me kick it up. Let me turn.
Do they ever think about more communication? If I'm really not excited, like everybody knows that's married to have long-term relationships, sometimes you could feel like you do plateau, right? And it has happened. And when you plateau, you start looking other ways and stuff like that. But how you get past that is you have to come back down and you have to be back to secure with the person who you was with from the beginning. And you should be able somehow to build up the communication back to at least talk about if we're gonna work on this or if we're gonna just part ways.
Can I say something on that? I feel like excitement is very important in a relationship, right? Very. And once you get to a point where you know the ins and out of a person, and you know their routine, and you know how they brush their teeth, and how you just know what to expect.
It's boring.
It's boring.
You start taking them for granted.
You start wanting more.
But you know what? But y'all know what y'all call that? But y'all know what y'all call that?
What?
This is what my wife calls me. He's a lot to deal with. And people say, yo, how do you deal with him?
Right.
He's a lot to deal with. So evidently the lot to deal with dudes is the one that they want to be with, because you're never going to have a dull moment. You're never going to know what's going on.
But the thing is that not everyone's like that. There's some women and there's some men who they reach that plateau and they're happy there because they know what to expect. They know what's going to happen the next week, the next month, because it's the same routine.
Are you like that?
I am not like that, and I'm not happy like that.
You're not a plateauer?
I've plateaued. I have plateaued, and I caught myself, and I said, I'm not happy, because what happened? I started gaining weight. I didn't feel good about myself, and I said, this is not who I am. This is not how I want to be. And I caught up with it, and I said, no, I need more just for myself.
Did you talk to him about it, or did you just redirect and move on?
I redirected myself, and I told him, I said, I am not happy with myself. It has nothing to do with you. It's just I am not happy. I know I could be better. I know I can do more. And I started doing it, and he was supportive. He said, look, we've gotten to a phase where it's just like we know each other,
Y'all were
right?
a tremendous couple if y'all talked like that. And it was just like, they were dope. Why did y'all ever even separate? Like, oh, you plateaued with me, I plateaued too. I understand. Move on, everybody. It's okay.
Poetic. No, it had
it's poetic justice.
It's poetic, but it took work, but it had its ups and downs. But
you were secure with him?
I was secure.
And he was secure with you, right?
He was secure.
All right, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
He was secure, but then it got to a point where we just started doing our own thing so much.
I can agree with that.
We sort of forgot about each other, and that's where it got really problematic, because when you get so caught up in doing your own thing, with having that mindset of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to finish school, blah, 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 get my own money, you forget about the relationship that you have.
You forget about the us and you start thinking about the you.
Exactly, and that's what happened. So
I'm not gonna lie, I experienced that when I was in college. I was with someone that I absolutely loved. They were my best friend. Everything was just amazing. I was in a point in my life where I could not imagine myself being with anybody else. Yeah. I knew I was gonna have his kids. I knew his family in and out. He knew my family in and out. My family loved him. That was a household name for me. Nobody could get over my ex from college. Nobody. And we were good communicators. Like, we literally were great for each other, like literally how best friends are. But there came to a point where no matter what, our communication, no matter how real we were with each other, we just decided that, yes, the communication is great for us, but we still wanted different things, and we just let our lives just separate. Once we got space from each other, we allowed that space to just become, to grow. And then after that, it was just like, we grew in different directions, and I was secure with that person. I felt like he provided me everything I needed.
So the security it trickled all the way down.
It was all of the other. We were in college together, so I didn't really think about monetary. Like, I didn't really think about the money.
I was in college, it didn't matter in college.
It didn't matter in college.
I like you, you like me. We're gonna figure it out. Whatever.
Is that what I was saying earlier? Oh.
Get out of here.
You notice I just sat quiet and everything I said is just coming back.
Yeah, but we're learning at the same time.
You're a prophet.
I decided to say nothing. I had to say nothing.